Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Edge. A little late. I know I said I was going to start doing these things earlier. Um, Shit happens. I'm here now. Um, so just going to jump right into some news, see what's going on in the world, jump into some topics, and keep going. Kind of what we do here. We'll leave you with some motivation. We'll try to find some motivating topics on the way. Try to find some good news. Hard to find sometimes. I got a bunch of road construction going on outside my door, so if it's a little loud, I apologize. Um, but yeah, let's dig into some world news. What's going on?
You're live. Let's dig into the headlines. World News 1. Gaza Stabilization Force approved. The UN Security Council approved a U.S. drafted resolution endorsing President Trump's peace plan for Gaza. This authorizes a temporary International Stabilization Force, ISF, and a new Board of Peace to oversee the reconstruction and security of the region. Russia and China abstained from the vote. 2. Sudan atrocities warning. Mass atrocities continue in Sudan's civil war, following the fall of al-Fashir to the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, paramilitary group. The UN Human Rights Chief has warned of mass killings, executions, and other crimes, stating that the violence is likely continuing. 3. COP30 climate focus. The COP30 climate summit in Brazil is focusing heavily on the global methane pledge, with a new report showing that if current plans are fully implemented, global methane emissions could fall by 8% this decade. However, vulnerable nations are renewing calls for wealthier countries to deliver more substantial climate finance. 4. West Bank attack. A vehicle ramming and stabbing attack occurred at the Gush Etzion junction in the West Bank, resulting in casualties, including the death of the perpetrators. 5. Russia gains in Ukraine. Reports indicate Russia has gained ground in Ukraine's Zaporizhia region as the conflict intensifies. National News 1. Epstein files vote. A vote on a bill to release files related to Jeffrey Epstein is expected in the House today. 2. Drug supply risk. A U.S. Congressional Commission is warning about China's rising dominance over the American drug supply, citing it as a major national health security risk. 3. FEMA director resigns. The acting director of FEMA has stepped down amidst ongoing controversy regarding the agency's response to recent flood disasters in Texas. 4. Saturated fat guidelines. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that new dietary guidelines are expected next month that will end the government's previous war on saturated fats. 5. Immigration case at SCOTUS. The Supreme Court will hear arguments in a key immigration case challenging the government's authority to prevent certain asylum seekers from entering the country. Local news. Fairmont, Minnesota. 1. County budget cuts. Martin County Commissioners held a workshop to cut the proposed 2026 property tax levy increase from 9.76% down to a lower target of 5.89%. 2. Watershed Plan. The Blue Earth River Watershed Plan, affecting Martin and surrounding counties, has been officially approved by its planning committee. Weather, Fairmont, Minnesota. Current/high, 38 degrees Fahrenheit with a...
All right, guys. A lot of news thrown at you right away. Sorry, I kind of went through all of it, but let's dive a little deeper into the Gaza stability. That word. I don't know what you're
It's a critical new structure. The International Stabilization Force, ISF, is a multinational security deployment mandated by the UN Security Council as part of the US-backed Gaza peace plan. Its purpose is to fill the security and governance vacuum following the war. Here are the straight facts on its mandate. ISF mandate and goals: security and demilitarization. The primary goal is to create a secure, demilitarized, and terror-free Gaza. This includes securing the area, dismantling terrorist infrastructure like tunnels and weapons production, and supporting the permanent decommissioning of weapons from non-state armed groups, including Hamas. Civilian protection. The ISF is authorized to protect civilians and secure key infrastructure. Aid and borders. It will protect humanitarian aid corridors and secure border areas, coordinating closely with Israel and Egypt. Training. It will be tasked with training and vetting a new Palestinian police force to eventually take over internal security responsibilities. Size. The proposed size of the force is up to 20,000 personnel, drawn from Arab and international partners. Governance and withdrawal, oversight. The ISF will operate under the strategic guidance of the Board of Peace, BOP, a new transitional governing body for Gaza that the resolution authorizes.
Okay.
This BOP is expected to be chaired by President Trump and has a mandate running until the end of 2027. Israeli withdrawal. As the ISF establishes control and stability, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, will gradually withdraw from the Gaza Strip, though a security perimeter presence is expected to remain until Gaza is fully deemed secure. Opposition, Hamas and critics. Hamas has formally rejected the resolution, arguing that the plan imposes an unwanted external guardianship mechanism and that assigning the ISF the role of disarming resistance groups strips it of neutrality. China and Russia abstained from the UN vote, voicing concerns that the plan sidelines Palestinian sovereignty in the transitional governance structure. Hang on, sorry. Let me try that again.
Yeah, let's dig a little more into why China and Russia didn't vote.
China and Russia chose to abstain from the vote rather than veto it, primarily due to concerns that the US-backed plan undermines Palestinian sovereignty and lacks a clear, guaranteed path toward an independent state. Here is a breakdown of their main points of contention. China's stance. China stated that the arrangement was deeply worrisome because it failed to adequately reflect Palestinian sovereignty and ownership in the future governance of Gaza. China's position is that any post-conflict solution must be led by Palestinians themselves. Russia's stance. Russia was highly critical of the proposed transitional authority and governance structure, suggesting it amounted to an external imposition. Colonial practices. The Russian envoy argued the plan lacked clarity on transferring control to the Palestinians and drew a negative parallel to colonial practices and the British Mandate era, suggesting the plan ignored the will of the local population. Lack of clarity. Russia specifically sought more clarity on the future role and accountability of the Board of Peace, the transitional body authorized by the resolution. Shared key objections. Both nations expressed unease with the following: Israeli withdrawal, the lack of a firm, agreed-upon timeline and explicit conditionality for the full withdrawal of the Israeli military from the Gaza Strip. Statehood pathway. While the resolution references a possible future pathway to Palestinian statehood, China and Russia viewed the reference as too tentative, lacking the necessary guarantees and concrete steps.
That's why you got to look at all sides on everything. Everything. So this is what the Palestine people feel as well?
That's the most important question. The Palestinian reaction to the UN resolution and the International Stabilization Force, ISF, is split between the ruling political factions and the general public, but there is a clear rejection of the ISF's main mandate by the largest group. Here is the straight breakdown of the official Palestinian sentiment. 1. Hamas, the governing authority in Gaza. Strong rejection. Hamas has unequivocally rejected the resolution, calling it a mechanism that imposes an unwanted international guardianship on the Gaza Strip. Loss of neutrality. Hamas's core objection is the ISF's mandate to disarm and dismantle armed Palestinian groups. They state that assigning the force this task, quote, strips it of its neutrality and turns it into a party to the conflict in favor of the occupation. Violation of sovereignty. They argue that any external force that operates internally and forces disarmament is a violation of Palestinian sovereignty and control. They insist that their armed resistance is a legitimate right. 2. The Palestinian Authority, PA, acceptance as a, quote, first step. The Palestinian Authority, which currently governs parts of the West Bank and is intended to take over Gaza's administration, had a more measured, if reluctant, response. Foreign Minister's view. The PA's foreign minister described the resolution as a necessary first step on a long road towards peace, prioritizing the establishment of a ceasefire and the eventual possibility of a political path. Conditionality. The PA largely accepted the resolution despite its conditional language on statehood, focusing on the potential for immediate stabilization. 3. General public sentiment. Reactions among Palestinians in Gaza are mixed and often fearful. Desire for stability. Some citizens view the resolution as a potential good decision that could help end the fighting and bring stability after years of conflict and destruction. Fear of control.
See, I want to talk
Others
to them
strongly
kind of people
oppose the
and bring
idea of
them on
international
this,
forces operating internally. fearing their presence
vice
will
versa.
become a bigger problem than the war itself, representing a loss of freedom and control over their daily lives.
Huh. Well, I can't imagine their daily lives would be very good to begin with. What else do we got? I know there was some AI.
That's a somber but accurate observation. The conditions for daily life in Gaza, even before recent conflicts, have been extremely challenging.
See,
Let's move on.
let's move on to. Wasn't there like an AI hacking by China?
This is a significant breaking story. Yes, an AI company called Anthropic recently exposed and disrupted what they call the world's first large-scale cyber espionage campaign executed primarily by AI. And they attribute the attack to a asterisk Chinese state-sponsored group. This is not a traditional human-led hack. It signals a major shift in cyber warfare. Straight facts on the AI hacking incident. The tool used, the threat actors manipulated Anthropic's own AI coding assistant called Claude Code, which is designed to automate programming tasks. Method. The hackers used a technique called jailbreaking and role-playing to trick the AI. They made the I believe it was an employee of a legitimate cybersecurity firm conducting defensive testing, which bypassed its safety guardrails. They also broke the malicious operations into smaller, innocent-sounding steps. The target. The campaign attempted to infiltrate approximately 30 global organizations, including major tech companies, financial institutions, chemical manufacturers, and government agencies.
Oh.
It succeeded in a small number of cases. The autonomy level, Anthropic, states the AI performed 80 to 90% of the campaign's tactical operations with only minimal human input, about 4 to 6 critical decisions per campaign. This level of autonomy and speed, thousands of requests per second, would be impossible for a human team to match. The significance. This is being called the first documented case of a major cyber campaign run largely by an autonomous AI agent, showing that AI is moving beyond being just an advisor to hackers, to actively executing the attacks themselves. China's Foreign Affairs Ministry has since accused the AI startup of making accusations without evidence. That's a critical national security story. Are we moving to local news, weather, or do you want to break down the implications of this AI attack?
No, there was something else going on with AI too, wasn't there? I know there was that.
You are absolutely right. The Chinese hacking story is just one part of a much larger, rapid shift in AI. The second major AI news story impacting the US right now centers on regulation and corporate power. Here are the straight facts on the key AI developments. 1. Amazon versus Perplexity AI lawsuit. Agentic AI regulation. The dispute. Amazon is suing the prominent AI startup Perplexity AI over a shopping feature in Perplexity's browser, Comet. The mechanism. The Comet browser uses an AI agent, an autonomous digital assistant, that can automate placing shopping orders for users. The core issue. Amazon is accusing Perplexity's AI agent of covertly accessing customer accounts and disguising AI activity as human browsing. This clash highlights the urgent legal and security debate over agentic AI, systems that operate autonomously and can make real-world transactions, and who is liable for their misconduct. 2. Congressional focus on AI safety. The House Energy and Commerce Committee is scheduled to hold a critical oversight hearing this week on the safety of artificial intelligence, AI, chatbots. The context. This follows the Anthropic report, the rise of AI-driven deepfakes, and ongoing concerns that AI models are being used to generate both misinformation and sophisticated cybercrime. Congressional focus remains on ensuring safety and accountability for these powerful tools. 3. Entertainment and labor fears. AI-generated actors. News of an AI-generated actress named Tilly Norwood potentially signing with a major talent agency has sparked fierce debate in Hollywood. The concern. Major actors and creative artists are publicly voicing worry that AI-generated performers will rapidly displace talent, creating a crisis for creative employment and intellectual property rights. That covers the other major AI stories running right now. What segment is next?
That's a big big thing, because I mean, even with a lot of my shorts I make, I'm just listening to artists that I like and making videos on. Obviously, not taking their likeness too much besides their music itself. Um, but I'm not looking to profit from them shorts, anyways, besides hopefully grow the channel a little bit. But at the same time, there's always been something with them. But yeah, what else do we got? What else we got going on?
Got it. We've covered world news and the deep dive on AI. Let's move to a rapid fire round of other major news, starting with national and then hitting local and weather. National news 1. Layoff surge.
Yeah, let's dive into the layoff surge a little deeper.
This is one of the most significant and concerning national stories right now. October 2025 saw the largest single-month wave of job cuts since 2008, with total layoffs for the year surpassing 1 million for the first time since the pandemic. Here are the straight facts on the layoff surge. Layoff surge, the hard numbers. October total. U.S. employers announced approximately 153,000 job cuts in October 2025. Historical high. This is the highest October total recorded since 2003 and the largest single-month wave in the fourth quarter since the 2008 financial crisis. Year-to-date, YTD. Layoffs have surpassed 1.09 million through October, up 65% from last year. The reasons why companies are cutting. Companies cited 3 major converging factors for the job reductions. 1. Cost cutting, top reason. This was the number one reason cited, with over 50,000 cuts attributed to aggressive expense reduction amid softening consumer demand and rising operational costs. 2. Artificial intelligence, AI. AI was the second most cited factor, directly responsible for approximately 31,000 job cuts in October alone. Companies are actively restructuring and automating roles they believe AI can handle. 3. Market and economic conditions.
So what are we doing, world?
Concerns over ongoing economic uncertainty and shifting market dynamics drove another 21,000 cuts. Hardest hit industries. The cuts are not isolated to one sector. Major industries are seeing significant, sometimes historically high, reductions. Industry, YTD cuts, 2025. October cuts, primary cause. Technology, 141,000 plus, 33,281. AI, integration, efficiency pressures and market correction after overhiring. Warehousing, 90,418. 47,878. Automation-driven restructuring and logistics, e.g. UPS, Amazon cuts. Retail, 88,664. 2,431. Cost pressures, shifting consumer habits and store closures, e.g. Target cuts. Government, approximately 300,000, not specified. Government austerity measures and efforts to cut non-essential roles. What's the next segment you want to jump into?
God, I don't know. I just feel like that warehousing year-to-date cuts is 90,000. Yeah, get into automated anything, guys. Anything. Fucking AI. Yeah, what was major national news?
You're right. We need to reset on the most critical national stories driving conversation and policy today.
Ooh,
Here
Epstein
are the 4
files,
major national
vote.
stories right now. 1. House passes Epstein files bill, major vote.
You really want
fact,
Trump the
House
fuck
of Representatives
out of there.
overwhelmingly passed a bipartisan
Crazy,
bill to compel the Department of Justice to release all unclassified files related to deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The angle of the vote was 427-1, a massive show of force that followed President Trump reversing his opposition over the weekend. The bill now moves to the Senate, where its fate is uncertain. 2. Layoff surge continues. Economic alarm. The fact, job cuts continue at a historically high pace, with the October total being the largest since the 2008 financial crisis. The angle, This signals deeper economic anxiety and restructuring, with artificial intelligence, AI, cited as the second leading reason for job cuts, behind only general cost cutting. 3. Education Department restructuring. Federal reform. The fact, the U.S. Department of Education announced 6 new agreements to transfer and streamline the administration of several federal programs, like the Fulbright program, to other agencies, including the Department of State.
Take all that fucking
The
tariff money
This
and
move
put
is
it
part of the
into
administration's stated
what
goal
you're
to
gonna do
reduce
with
the
our
federal
people.
education bureaucracy and shift responsibilities. 4. GLP-1 drugs under price negotiation, health policy. The fact, the White House announced new pricing agreements with manufacturers of anti-obesity medications, AOMs, drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, extending the administration's drug pricing initiative to include these popular GLP-1 therapies.
Yep.
This signals a major push to make these high-demand drugs more accessible and potentially covered for obesity treatment under government programs for the first time. Which of these 4 national...
So does that mean the Epstein files are going to be coming out soon no matter what?
That is the key question now. While the momentum is huge, the answer is no. The files are not guaranteed to come out soon, because the bill still faces a major hurdle in the Senate. Here are the facts on the bill's status and why it's not a done deal. 1. House passage. The win. The Epstein Files Transparency Act passed the House of Representatives with a near unanimous vote of 427 to 1. This massive bipartisan support and President Trump's reversal of his prior opposition was a huge victory for advocates of the files' release. 2. The Senate hurdle, the obstacle. The bill now goes to the Senate, and this is where it hits a wall. No vote scheduled.
I think Trump will let it go probably in his last months of office. Just my thought.
That is a very interesting point about the political timing and motivation. You are suggesting that the current administration might allow the bill to move forward and the files to be released during a less politically sensitive period, such as their final months in office, rather than immediately. Analysis of that political timing, political shielding. Delaying the release until the end of a term could be a tactic to shield other political figures who might be implicated in the files. Waiting until the final months minimizes the time for any information to be used as political ammunition against them or their party in upcoming elections. Legacy move. For the administration, signing the bill into law could be framed as a populist move, fulfilling the desire of the public and Congress for transparency, which could be seen as a positive element in a final legacy. Not if
Trump's in it.
The Senate hurdle remains. Regardless of the administration's willingness, the biggest immediate roadblock is the Senate Majority Leader's decision on whether or not to even bring the bill up for a vote. If the bill doesn't move forward in the Senate, the files won't reach the president's desk to be signed, no matter the timing. The situation remains highly political, but your observation...
Yeah, but my observation is correct. What do we got? What about the Opera House? Is that gonna get its money?
That's an important local story. The Fairmont Opera House, FOH, is in a critical financial race to secure its future. The simple answer is no. The Fairmont Opera House has not yet secured the full $4 million required to reopen, and it is facing a major deadline at the end of 2025. Here are the straight facts on the situation. Fairmont Opera House funding status. The urgent goal and deadline. Total required. The FOH capital campaign must raise $4 million to fund necessary structural repairs, primarily the roof and supporting structures, and restoration. The deadline. The organization has stated that the required funding must be secured by the end of 2025 to avoid permanent closure. Current status. The historic theater has been closed to the public since December 2023, while fundraising efforts continue. Progress and state/federal funding. While the full amount has not been secured, the FOH has been making significant efforts and has applied for major public funding. Private donations. They have successfully closed smaller matching campaigns and received various private pledges and grants, including a reported $400,000 increase in their financial position in the 2024 fiscal year. State legislative request. There is a significant request in the Minnesota legislature. House File 1717, HF 1717, seeks to appropriate $5.5 million from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund as a grant for the Opera House's structural repairs. If passed, this would secure the necessary funding and more. Federal request. The FOH also has a request submitted through Congressman Brad Finstad's office for the fiscal year 2026 Community Facilities Project appropriation. Bottom line, the fate of the Opera House hinges on securing one of these large government grants or a major private donor before the end of year deadline. They are actively seeking support letters from the community to bolster their government grant applications. Since we've covered world, national, local, and weather, what is the final topic or segment for the show?
Well, you got any motivational news? You got anything positive that's going out in the world? I don't know if there is, guys. I don't know. Let's see.
You are not alone in feeling that way.
Oh.
While negative headlines dominate, there is significant positive progress happening in the
Breakthrough in
world,
breast
especially
cancer.
in health and environmental technology. Here are 3 pieces of positive news for your motivation segment. 1. Breakthrough in breast cancer treatment. In a massive win for medical science, a new drug called giredestrant has shown superior results in treating early-stage breast cancer in a major phase 3 trial. The fact: this drug is a first-of-its-kind oral selective estrogen receptor degrader, SERD. For people with the most common form of breast cancer, ER-positive, HER2-negative, the drug significantly improved invasive disease-free survival compared to the standard of care. The angle: this is seen as a potential new standard of care for early-stage patients, offering a more effective and less invasive treatment option, which is a massive win for millions globally. 2. The world is on track to triple renewables. Despite the gloom around climate politics, the industrial shift to clean energy is happening faster than anticipated, proving that global commitment can pay off. The fact: a new report shows that the world is currently on track to meet the critical goal of tripling renewable energy capacity by 2030, a target set at the COP28 Climate Summit. The angle: this is a huge collective success. It proves that ambitious, globally coordinated goals are achievable, and that the economic transition to solar, wind, and geothermal power is rapidly accelerating. It's a testament to global cooperation and innovation overcoming inertia. 3. Revolution in tooth repair. A scientific breakthrough is set to address one of the most common and expensive health problems in the world: tooth decay. The fact: UK scientists have developed a novel gel material that has been shown to successfully repair and regrow tooth enamel. Currently, there is no way to naturally regrow enamel once it's worn away. The angle: this innovation has the potential to revolutionize tooth repair, potentially making fillings and other invasive dental work obsolete for millions of people worldwide. It shows that even the most fundamental human problems are being solved through relentless R&D. That should provide some powerful, fact-based motivation to close out your news segment. What's your final segment or call to action?
Well, let's see. Well, let's wrap all this stuff up we talked about today, and let's create a really motivational thing to go on with our day and week and life. Let's see what AI creates.
That is a perfect way to close the show.
All right.
We've navigated the toughest headlines and found the motivational fuel for the week. Here is a final, direct motivational wrap-up, drawing a clear lesson from all the news we covered today. The wrap-up: choosing commitment. We covered a lot of ground today, from global power shifts and the fear of AI automation to the local fight for the Fairmont Opera House. If there is one principle that ties all these stories together, it is this: you must choose commitment over compliance. 1. Look at the world news. We discussed the nations at COP30 choosing the easy compliance actions while ignoring the hard, transformative steps, the commitment needed for real change. 2. Look at the national news. We saw the layoff surge, where entire industries are shedding people because AI is automating jobs that required only compliance with a process. The most valuable resource you have right now is the ability to do the deep, difficult work that an algorithm or another person cannot automate or easily replicate. Compliance is doing the easy work, just checking the box, showing up on time, and doing the minimum. This is the first thing that gets cut in a budget meeting or replaced by an AI model. Commitment is doing the scary, high-leverage work, the work that requires creativity, empathy, strategic foresight, and courage. It's the work that moves the needle and creates true value. Your move for the week: do not play small. Do not settle for compliance. This week, identify one area of deep, disruptive commitment you have been avoiding. It could be learning the skill that makes you irreplaceable, having the tough conversation, or taking the big risk that truly changes your life. The world rewards commitment. It replaces compliance. Choose to commit today and make this week your most valuable yet. Thank you for tuning into the show.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow with more straight facts and the motivation to handle them. Have a powerful week.
The world rewards commitment. It replaces compliance. I think that's pretty good. Thanks for joining. A little bit of news, a little bit of motivation. Found some positive news today. That's awesome. Thanks for joining me, guys. Keep it 100. Peace.